We're going to talk about the war against obesity. Another article I found in the Final Call Muslim newspaper. I like to get the newspaper. You know, why not? They always got some good stuff in here. Okay, so let's get into it. Say we weigh other than ourselves. Whenever we think and act other than our righteous nature, we are overweight, sloppy, and slovenly. Paul wrote, the wages of sin is death. What kind of sin is he referring to, since everybody has to die? The kind of death that the prophet died is not the kind of death we die. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches that Allah God does not take a prophet's life without that prophet's permission. You have never read in scripture where a prophet was on his way to a market and suddenly died of a heart attack. Allah God has so much love and respect for his servants that he will not take them without their permission. You have to read in the Bible, in the Holy Quran, instance where Allah God gave a prophet a certain number of years to work, and then granting the prophet requests for an extension. He continues to send messages for a time, and then the prophet finally decides it is time for me to come in now. I have done my work. There is no sense in staying around after you have completed your job. The prophets did not live long. They did not live 500, 600, 800 years. Were they sinners? No. They were from the people. They spoke to Allah God, had already set the time for the people to live in the world based upon the degree of sin that the people were living in. Moses lived 120 years. That was the time that Allah God gave the people of that world. By the time of David, the wickedness of the world had gotten so bad until the day of life shortened to 70, which is 70 years. The prophets knew how to live, but they were in such an adverse world. Allah God allowed them to do their work, and then he took them away. But when the man Jesus comes, he is a different kind of man according to both the Holy Quran and the Bible. The Jesus figure comes to end death and introduce to the people a way to live that will extend their days. I come that you may have life and have it more abundantly. Sarah in the Bible was bearing children at nearly 100 years of age. You may say that is fiction. No, that is not fiction. You can die young in the ability to procreate human life because you live so badly that by the time you reach 40, you are considered too old to bear children. By whose standard? By whose standard? The standard set by a no good, rebellious devil. Many would say that a man my age should be ready to hang it up. By whose standard? It is foolish to say that a person who has not reached 60 is old. I am in the world, but I am not of it, and that is a big difference. If you are in the world and of the world, then yes, I will be considered old, because the white man's world placed such a low ceiling on life that if we can get past 55 years, we are old. It is time to start thinking about crippling diseases and funerals. You should be ashamed of yourself to think of dying at 60 or 70 years of age when you have not even begun to live. But when you meet Jesus, he will give you abundant life, because he will teach you what foods to eat and what foods to store in your house. The problem I cited from the problem book in my last article is the problem of the black woman, but also of the black man. Do not think that I directed it only to the sisters, because spiritually, brothers, you are a wife too. The whole believing community of the nation is a wife of the uncle of W.D. Ford. We weigh other than ourselves when we think and act other than our righteous nature. We are overweight, sloppy, and slovenly. Do not think because you are thin, you are healthy. Some of you are skinny, sloppy, and slovenly, and pig eaters. Any pig eater that is thin is unhealthy. To be overweight is to carry a burden that we are not made to carry. Being too big is a burden. It's in the books. Your frame was not made to carry the swill garbage that you put in it and on it, nor was our mind made to carry the burden that comes from sin. The Holy Quran says that the earth will cast off its burden. The burden that the earth will cast off is not physical weight. It had at one time more than 5 billion inhabitants. It is now over 4 billion, so it is not overburdened with the number of people that are on it, but the kind of people that are on it. With that being said, y'all tap in with your mind, body, soul, and your diets. Stay blessed. Leave the swine alone.